Hello, everyone. Welcome back to today's story. In this episode, we follow Diep as she moves into the new house with James and little Nye. But instead of peace, tension brews when James's mother visits and challenges Diep's place in the family. To her, Diep isn't the lady of the house, just someone unworthy of leading it. What begins as a day of hope soon turns into an emotional confrontation that tests love, pride, and the meaning of belonging. Through heartbreak and courage, Diep learns that true strength isn't about status, but about standing firm in love and dignity. Stay with us until the end to see how Diep faces judgment with quiet strength. And don't forget to subscribe to help us reach 10,000 subscribers. Your support truly means the world to us. Morning sunlight dances across the new house's clean tiles, illuminating every corner like a gentle blessing. Diep stands in the living room, her hands resting on a stack of folded curtains, eyes filled with quiet pride. "We've come a long way," she murmurs. Behind her, Nye giggles, chasing after her little toy car, its wheels clattering against the floor. The laughter fills the room, soft and bright, proof that this new home already breathes life. James walks in from outside, wiping sweat from his brow. "The workers finished the fence," he says, voice calm but content. "You can plant flowers by the gate now." Diep's face lights up. "Lilies," she says, already picturing them in her mind. "White ones. They'll make the entrance feel peaceful." Their shared vision paints the morning with hope, but the warm harmony shatters when the door creaks open. Mrs. Huyen, James's mother, steps inside, her elegant dress crisp, her eyes sharp and assessing. She scans the room slowly, pausing at every detail, as though evaluating not just the space, but the person who designed it. "So," she says finally, her tone smooth but distant, "this is the new house everyone's been talking about." James approaches her with a welcoming smile. "Yes, Mom. What do you think?" Her eyes drift to Diep, standing quietly by the window. "It's big," she replies, voice flat, "but perhaps a little too ambitious for someone like her to manage." Diep freezes, the air tightening around her. "I'm just helping decorate," she says softly, hoping to diffuse the tension. But Mrs. Huyen's gaze doesn't soften. "Decorate?" she echoes. "James, houses like this are meant for people who know how to run a household, not someone who's only ever served others." The words slice through the silence. Nye stops playing, clutching her toy tightly as if sensing the shift in the air. James frowns. "Mom, that's enough. Diep's not." But Mrs. Huyen cuts him off. "You think I don't see it? Look at her, running around, cleaning, cooking, arranging furniture. That's what housekeepers do, James, not wives who own homes." Diep's fingers tighten around the curtain fabric. Her throat burns, but she stays silent. "I didn't build this house just for you to let someone unworthy take charge of it." Mrs. Huyen continues, her voice rising. "This home carries our family's name, and she gestures sharply at Diep, doesn't belong in it." James takes a deep breath, trying to remain calm. "Mom, this house is for our family. Diep's been through everything with me. She helped me build this, brick by brick." Mrs. Huyen laughs softly, bitterly. "Helped you? Don't romanticize it. She followed you around because she needed a place to stay. Don't mistake desperation for devotion." Diep's chest tightens. Her instinct is to leave, to walk out and let the storm pass, but she catches Nee's wide, trembling eyes. Instead, she straightens her back. "Mrs. Huyen," she says quietly, "I'm not trying to take anything from you or from James. I just want to create a home for Nye, for us to live in peace." Mrs. Huyen narrows her eyes. "Peace? You call this peace? My son working himself to exhaustion while you play house." James's patience breaks. "Mom, please stop. Diep deserves respect." "Respect?" she repeats. "You think she's earned it? A woman like her should know her place. Helping, serving, not running a household. You've always been too soft-hearted, James. You don't see when people are taking advantage of you." The room feels smaller, heavier. The hum of cicadas outside fades beneath the weight of unspoken pain. Nye tugs on Diep's sleeve, whispering, "Mommy, don't cry." Diep forces a smile. "I'm okay, sweetheart." But she isn't. Inside, her heart trembles with a mix of humiliation and fury. She looks around at the half-decorated home. The curtains she sewed, the furniture she picked, the hours she spent planning every inch of this space. Every detail had meaning, had love. And yet, in Mrs. Huyen's eyes, none of it mattered. Mrs. Huyen crosses her arms, unmoved. "You can dress this house however you like, but it won't change what you are, Diep. You'll never be more than a helper in this family." Silence swallows the room. Even the sound of Nye's toy car has stopped. Then James speaks, his tone low but steady. "That's not true. She's the reason this place feels alive. Without her, this house is just empty walls." Mrs. Huyen's jaw tightens. "James, you're blinded by pity. A man like you deserves a wife who brings pride to the family name, not someone who clings to him because she has nowhere else to go." Diep inhales shakily, her voice trembling as she finally answers, "You're wrong, Mrs. Huyen. I have plenty of places I could go, but I chose to stay here, not because I need James, but because I love him, and because I believe in the life we're building." Her words hang in the air, fragile yet defiant. Mrs. Huyen's eyes flash. "Love doesn't put food on the table. Love doesn't buy houses. Men build lives, Diep. Women like you just live off them." James slams his hand against the table, startling everyone. "Enough, Mom." His voice shakes with anger. "You've said terrible things before, but this crosses the line." Diep looks at him, startled. She's never seen him raise his voice to his mother. Mrs. Huyen stiffens, wounded pride flashing in her eyes. "So you'd choose her over your own mother?" James takes Diep's hand. "I'm choosing what's right. Diep isn't perfect, but she's honest, hardworking, and she's the reason I smile every day. You don't have to accept her, but you will treat her with respect in this home." The words hang heavy between them. Mrs. Huyen looks at their joined hands, her expression flickering between disbelief and fury. "Fine," she says finally, voice cold, "but don't expect me to call this woman the lady of my son's house." She turns and walks out, her heels striking the floor like a drumbeat of finality. Silence fills the space again, thick, suffocating. Diep stands motionless, eyes glistening as the door shuts behind Mrs. Huyen. James squeezes her hand gently. "Don't let her get to you. She'll come around." Diep shakes her head, her voice small. "It's not just her words, James. It's the way she looks at me. like I'll never be enough. James steps closer, brushing a strand of hair from her face. You're more than enough, Diep. You're everything I ever hoped for. Tears well in her eyes, but she forces a shaky smile. Then I'll just keep proving it, every day. Outside, the afternoon light softens, spilling through the windows like forgiveness. Nee wraps her arms around Diep's leg, her tiny voice whispering, "I love our home, Mommy." Diep kneels down, hugging her tightly. "Me too, sweetheart. Me too." The tension lingers in the air, but beneath it, something unshakable grows stronger. Diep's resolve. She knows respect can't be demanded. It must be earned, step by step. And though Mrs. Huyen's words cut deep, they ignite a quiet fire within her. The evening light casts long shadows across the polished floor, tinting the house in amber hues. James and Diep sit together on the living room sofa, silent for a moment as the sound of cicadas fills the dusk. Nye hums softly in the corner, drawing on her little sketch pad. A picture of a house with 3 stick figures smiling under the sun. James glances at the drawing and smiles faintly. "See that?" he murmurs. "That's us." Nye already knows this is her home. Diep exhales slowly. "Yes," she says, her tone gentle but weary. "But your mother doesn't." James leans forward, rubbing his temples. "She's stubborn, always has been. When my father passed, she took control of everything. Every decision, every word about the family name. It's how she survives." Diep nods silently. "I understand, but it still hurts." Her voice trembles on the last word. James reaches out, holding her hand tightly. "We'll show her she's wrong, Diep. Not with arguments, by living well, by proving we can build something lasting." Diep looks into his eyes and sees both exhaustion and faith reflected back. She gives a faint nod, but her heart remains heavy. Later that night, she slips into the kitchen. The faint smell of paint and sawdust still lingers, mingling with the scent of rice simmering on the stove. She prepares dinner: stir-fried vegetables, grilled fish, and soup. Simple, comforting dishes. When Mrs. Huyen enters unexpectedly, the clatter of her heels makes Diep freeze. The older woman surveys the kitchen, her expression unreadable. "You're still cooking?" Mrs. Huyen says curtly. Diep wipes her hands on a towel. "Yes, ma'am. I thought it would be nice for everyone to eat together tonight." Mrs. Huyen's gaze flicks toward the table. 3 plates neatly set, chopsticks aligned with precision. "You think a meal will fix things?" she asks dryly. "No," Diep answers softly, "but maybe it can make things a little warmer." Mrs. Huyen doesn't respond. She walks toward the counter, picks up a bowl, and inspects it like she's searching for flaws. Then, without a word, she sets it back down and turns to leave. "Mrs. Huyen," Diep calls quietly, "I know you don't think I belong here, but I want you to know. I'm not trying to replace anyone. I'm just trying to build a home with your son and take care of Nye." The older woman pauses, her back still turned. "Homes aren't built by sentiment, Diep. They're built by worth. And worth is something you prove through generations, not just effort." Her voice is calm, but heavy with disdain. She walks away, her words lingering like smoke in the air. Diep's hands tremble slightly, but she turns back to the stove, refusing to let the sting of pride or shame cloud her focus. "One day," she whispers, "I'll show you what kind of worth I have." Dinner begins quietly. Nee sits between James and Diep, her small hands folded neatly. The air feels thick with tension. Mrs. Huyen joins them, her posture rigid, her eyes fixed on her bowl rather than their faces. "Mom," James begins gently, "Diep made your favorite fish." Mrs. Huyen looks up briefly. "I see," she says, taking a bite. Silence follows. But as the minutes pass, the air softens slightly. Nai chatters about her day at school, proudly talking about her drawing of their new house. "Teacher said it looks happy," she says, "because everyone's smiling." Diep laughs lightly. "That's because we are, sweetheart." Mrs. Huyen doesn't smile, but her gaze lingers on Nee, who giggles as she points at her mother's plate. "Grandma, Mommy says happy families eat together." The older woman exhales slowly, as if fighting to maintain her sternness. "Is that so?" "Yes," Nee nods earnestly. "And Mommy says love makes food taste better." James chuckles, while Diep lowers her eyes shyly. For a fleeting moment, even Mrs. Huyen's expression wavers. Something soft, flickering before she quickly hides it behind formality. When dinner ends, Diep clears the table quietly. James helps dry the dishes. Mrs. Huyen stands by the doorway, watching without speaking. "You don't have to do that," she finally says. Diep turns, surprised. "It's okay. I like doing it." Mrs. Huyen hesitates, her tone shifting slightly. "Most women would have the helpers handle it." Diep meets her gaze, steady this time. "Maybe, but I think taking care of your own home makes it feel real." Their eyes lock for a long moment. Mrs. Huyen doesn't reply. She turns and walks away, but this time her steps are slower, less sharp. That night, after Nai falls asleep, Diep sits by the window, looking out at the quiet field bathed in moonlight. She feels both drained and calm, her thoughts looping through every word Mrs. Huyen said. James joins her, handing her a warm cup of tea. "She's difficult," he admits, "but I saw it. She's starting to see you differently." Diep gives a faint smile. "I don't need her to love me right away. I just want her to see that I'm not here to take anything from her. I just want to build something of my own." James wraps an arm around her shoulders. "And you are, every day." The next morning, Diep wakes early. The house is quiet, the first rays of dawn brushing against the curtains. She walks outside with a watering can, tending to the small garden she started near the fence. Rows of herbs, flowers, and a few saplings she planted the week before. As she's watering, she hears a voice behind her. "You planted lilies." Diep turns. It's Mrs. Huyen, standing on the porch, arms folded. "Yes," Diep says cautiously. "They were my mother's favorite. She said lilies grow best in quiet places." Mrs. Huyen steps closer, her gaze tracing the small plants. "They're delicate, but they endure storms well." Diep nods, surprised by the shift in tone. "Yes, they do." Mrs. Huyen pauses for a long moment before saying, "I still think this house carries my husband's legacy. I can't just hand it over easily." "I wouldn't want you to," Diep answers honestly. "I only hope that one day you'll feel proud of what I've helped build here. For James, for Nai, for all of us." Mrs. Huyen studies her carefully, her sincerity, her quiet strength. Finally, she says, "We'll see." She turns to go back inside, but before disappearing through the doorway, she adds softly, "Don't forget to water them twice a day. Lilies wilt easily." Diep stands frozen for a moment, a small, disbelieving smile spreading across her lips. It's not acceptance, not yet, but it's something, a beginning. She looks toward the new house, sunlight glinting off its fresh windows, and feels her heart steady. This house, once filled with tension and unspoken pain, now hums with the faint promise of reconciliation. Inside, Nai's laughter rings out, and Diep walks back toward the door, whispering under her breath, "No matter what she thinks, I'll keep building this home with love, patience, and truth."